every time.
Hello.
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 Every Rush song.
Hello, my fellow Rush fan. Welcome to the greatest Rush podcast recorded in Tim's backyard. Thank you for joining us on this journey where together we will discuss every Rush song. And tonight we're doing a very special Halloween episode and we're talking about Witch Hunt. Witch Hunt?
Yes. Sorry, I got excited. Go ahead.
Wait, was that that was the word? Was that the word?
Ooh, that was scary. Don't do that, Tim.
And he's in the dark. He's like the Blair
scaring
Witch
me.
Hunt.
Woo! It's the Blair Witch Hunt.
The Blair Witch Hunt. Yes.
Scary Witch Hunt.
There's Tim in the dark that you can see right there above the little YouTube scroll thing where I'm sure there's somewhere you can click like. Or
are we on YouTube?
I don't know yet. We might be. We'll see what you think about it.
I thought we were on MTV.
I'm saying that just in case. Just in case.
Well, you got to warn me because I need to fast for about a year.
And I need a haircut.
Yes.
And I need to clean up this mess behind me too.
You wouldn't know it, but I actually cleaned up the office. It's actually the cleanest it's been in years.
I like your office. You've got cool music memorabilia. I see the King back there. I see guitars.
Yeah.
I see guitars. A mirror. Sometimes I see a ghost looking at me from the mirror, and I wonder if you see it too. And yeah,
do I see it? Oh no, not that ghost. We have a couple, but no, actually, we have no ghosts that I'm aware of because we sage around here on a regular basis.
Oh, look, the ghost of the chance.
Oh, rush pun from Tim.
Right.
Well,
right.
Witch Hunt. It is off of the Moving Pictures album. Am I correct in saying that?
That would be a correct assumption, Jay.
Yes, you are correct.
And as I recall, it appears somewhere towards the end of that album, perhaps.
It does. I really wish it was the last track, and I have reasons for that, but Vital Signs is there at the end to close it all out with goodness.
Now, Tim and Shane, because you probably would know this too, it says Witch Hunt is part 3 of Fear.
The Fear of the 4-song Fear Trilogy.
The 4-song Fear Trilogy.
The 4-song Fear Trilogy, yes.
Yes. Now, what were the other 3 songs in that trilogy?
Okay, well, number one, they did it really funny and or weird, being Rush and so Canadian. You've got Moving Pictures.
Maple, you're right. Sorry.
Hey, and
that was terrible.
So they do Witch Hunt, and that is part 3 of Fear. The very next album, Signals, they do The Weapon, which is part 2 of Fear. And then the next album after Signals is Grace Under Pressure, where you hear part 1 of Fear, The Enemy Within. And then we don't get part 4 of Fear called Freeze until Vapor Trails. Many later.
Yes.
What do you
Good
believe?
rockin' tune, though.
What do you believe the Fear 4-song Fear trilogy is overall about? What is the underlying theme? Just
Fear.
Scary shit.
Golly.
Oh wait, we can't cuss. I forgot.
Well, that wasn't obligatory. We'll take it. I'll allow it.
Thank you, sir.
Allowed. Move to
This
strike.
time.
It won't happen again. I freaking promise.
Oh, careful, Jay.
See.
Well, if you break down Witch Hunt, it's the mob mentality on something that they don't understand, and they, number one, are really never going to admit their fear of it, and they will turn it into anger and go after whatever it is.
It's kind of I got kind of the overall impression of it. Just kind of, it's about censorship, but because of people's fear of books and what have you.
Right. Or just the fear. To me, it's more the fear of the unknown.
What you do not understand.
What you don't understand,
And you could deem it
And
as evil, even though it may not be.
right,
But you
exactly.
don't take the time to try to understand it, which is the point
Right,
of,
exactly.
yeah. Yeah.
So do you kind of expect a witch to show up sometime in the song, but then there's never a mention of it? It's all about the whole song is about the mob.
Right.
Right. So you think that there's going to be
Yeah.
this witch that's going to be the bad thing or the antagonist in the song, but then there never even mentions it. The whole song is just about the mob.
And it's
Right.
interesting you should say that, kind of like the Salem witch hunts. The reason the witch doesn't appear is because there is no witch.
There is no witch. Deep, Jay.
It's that's what I'm thinking. It's the mob mentality to create this thing that doesn't really exist, to explain things that they don't really understand.
Right. Yeah, and Neil sums it all up beautifully in the last words of the song. Ignorance and prejudice and fear, they all walk hand in hand.
Yeah.
Which is true. I mean, no prejudiced person, bigot is going to admit that, but all of their prejudice is based on either fear or ignorance or both. I mean, Neil,
right,
as always, nails it.
Yes. That sounded, yes, Neil does.
He kneels it.
He kneels it.
Another Neil nail.
I got a question for you.
A truth nail.
When you listened to Witch Hunt, how were you listening?
It's the weirdest scratch I have ever. Sorry, when we're listening to Witch Hunt,
mosquitoes attacking me. When you're listening to Witch Hunt, or when you were listening to Witch Hunt, were you listening through headphones or just blaring it in the car stereo?
I was listening to it recently on my computer. I have speakers, and the sound is decent.
You need to listen to it once with headphones on.
Well, yeah. It's funny you should mention that, because I have a new routine that now has started as of this week, because it was so awesome.
A new routine. A new teen.
Usually I listen to some sort of music while I'm doing yard work or mowing the lawn. This time I listened to just a random Rush song, just whatever came up. And it was awesome. And I also got to really hear things that I didn't notice before.
Over the lawnmower.
It's loud enough. I don't hear the mower.
That's some good earphones.
Yeah.
Earbud phone.
I mean, I still hear the mower, but I also really hear what's going on, and it made me think I need to listen to Witch Hunt.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to start picking out, like, the opening with the mob, and they're getting all angry and yelling. You're going to actually start picking out things that they're saying. Witch Hunt was the album's production piece. Technically, especially because of technology at that time, it was never meant to be played live. So there's, number one, there is drum overdubbing.
I guess the cowbell?
No. I mean, the cowbell, yes, that was recorded separately. But when you listen to the song, and Neil does his famous drum fills where he's starting from a higher tom, and it goes down,
and then left to right in the speakers.
You're going to hear that was overdubbed.
Interesting.
Really?
He's playing the same part, but they just laid down that an additional. Which, how often do you do that with drums? Now, playing the same part.
That's a good point.
You rarely ever do that.
I've never done it.
Right. So, you've got stuff like that. And another thing, I don't remember if Alex had said he just was having a hard time with maybe coming up with a guitar solo for Witch Hunt, and he just looked over at Geddy and said, "Hey, why don't you do something?" And so, there towards the very end, you get that little
Yeah.
yeah. That, well, back then they could not have done that live. I mean, they never did anyways. Alex always did a guitar solo when they started to play it live, but that was their production piece.
Do you know how they recorded?
Never meant to be played live.
And if you listen to a show of hands, which you can kind of hear where the cowbell isn't on, where he kind of doesn't play the cowbell for some of the
right.
fills.
There will be a couple of beats where you don't hear it exactly, because back then he wasn't able to, sample that to a foot pedal and just play the cowbell part,
Yeah.
And then with all the other drum work that he did on that. Plus, not only is he playing his toms, snare hits, cowbell, you got claves going on, little, well, I'm going to get in trouble for this. Those Mexican instruments that you'll hear all the time with Hispanic music, and just
like traditional instruments of Mexico.
Yes, that's what I said.
Yeah, that's what you said.
That's what he said.
Exactly what I said. So, but I think I understand. I mean, I know I'm going to guess right now why Shayne thinks it should be the last song.
Okay.
On the last track on the album. I think it's because it comes to a definite ending, and it is a powerful ending, while Vital Signs is a fade out. And I don't think your last song should never fade out.
That's why moving pictures sucks. Actually, no, that is a very good thought. But my reason is because it seems like Tom Sawyer talks about the greatness of the individual, of being that person whose mind isn't for rent. And then they start off the album with that. And then at the end, you get the dangers of being too involved or getting too caught up in the mob. Where without that, if you don't stop to have that individual thought and that your own personality, that you stand the danger of becoming caught up in some kind of hysteria like that.
And so I get what you're saying there, but then I think the placement of Vital Signs is genius, because Vital Signs, it's telling you it's individualism also. Deviate from the norm. Just because, they're all doing it doesn't mean you have to do it. Or, as I used to think it's said, everybody gets lemonade from the north.
That's true. I think the lemonade line is why it's a good last song for the album. I mean, it was a cool, refreshing drink.
You're right. But
so Vital Signs, what you're saying is
you don't
basically
think of lemonade in the north. You think it in the deep south, right?
The Vital Signs, I guess, basically overall is taking what you heard before and saying, all right, this is what happens, the mob mentality, and, don't succumb to the peer pressure, or, just be yourself. Don't conform.
Yeah.
Or do you know how they recorded the mob?
Probably with microphones, I'm thinking.
They did it just like the same way Tim recorded his intro for his teaser.
No, listen.
Great intro, by the way.
No, y'all don't get it. That's a live deal. I mean, seriously, they've got the special sensor that they created back in 1901 that everybody when anybody is ever listening on cassette, 8-track, album, then CD, now on streaming, and now back on vinyl, that a group of these people get together, and every time Witch Hunt is being played, they all go outside and start screaming. So it's a live event that somehow gets miraculously
time travel
transmuted into your listening ears.
Huh. That's very scientific.
But no, what it was the band plus the engineers, anybody else hanging out at the studio. They went outside and the very brisk Canadian winter and had a few drinks and just started shouting out things, and they just kept it going.
Run away! Run away!
Well, no, I don't think anybody said run away. That
kill the witch! Kill the witch!
Burn now that would have been awesome. Well, how do you know she's the witch? She looks like one.
She weighs the same as a duck.
You know, I think would have made this song perfect if they would have ended it with "What a world! What a world! What a world!"
Oh.
So any of the lyrics stand out? Is that an understatement these days?
Well,
I thought it was kind of cool where that first verse, it seems like he's just setting a mood. The night is black without a moon, the air's thick and still. And he's setting this mood.
Without a moon, the air is thick and still.
But I think he's...
Sorry.
Wow, Jay, that's a great performance. I want to hear Elvis.
Thank you.
I want to hear Elvis do Witch Hunt.
Imagine James Earl Jones.
The night is black.
He would make anything perfect.
Oh,
Simba.
Okay, I need about 2 seconds by myself.
This is CNN.
2.
The air is thick and still.
Simba.
Lances gather on the lonely torchlit hill.
But then I think he's kind of also saying that it's kind of a dark ages where there's no enlightenment. There's nothing shining or brilliant. It's all a dark ages that this mob is in. Because they all think they're right. They're quiet in conscience, meaning, they think they're doing the right thing. They don't feel guilty that they're about to hurt this person or this group.
And confident that their ways
are my better. Gosh. Those kind of people just drive me crazy.
Their ways could just be nothing but traditions that have been passed on from generation to generation to generation.
Do you think Neil was talking about religion or government or Facebook?
No, I think it's anything that fits.
It's kind of funny that line, that verse in there, the righteous rise with burning eyes of hatred and ill will, madmen fed on fear and lies to beat and burn and kill. That it's I mean, it's topical still. I mean, the lyrics to this song, I think you can compare it to things that are going on in the real world today. It's sort of a metaphor for what's going on, and I'm sure it's always been that way. Everything is cyclical.
Yeah,
it's just somehow in 2022 we're still doing it. Why are we still doing it?
Yeah,
and I like because you think
we're in the dark ages again.
Righteous rise. You wouldn't think that righteous are gonna have ill will or be full of hate or anger, but
they're righteous.
But those are the ones that they think they're righteous, but they're the ones that are angry and hateful.
Exactly, because they only believe what they believe, and if you believe something else, then you're wrong or you're whatever. It's one of those.
See,
it's either you're with me or you're against me. That's
But that's the way it's always been.
The
only thing that has ever changed since the beginning of time has been the clothes people wear and technology. That's it.
Yeah.
And the earth is hotter.
The earth is a little bit warmer.
I can almost feel.
I don't think you can prove that.
Which brings me to another favorite line, fed on fear and lies, because that's always a constant thing in politics and religion where they'll try to.
And media.
Well, the media is part of politics where they're trying to make you fear the other side, so you'll vote for this side. And both sides do it.
Yeah,
and then blame the other side and then accuse the other side for it. And it's like, are you all just a bunch of rubes?
Yeah, that's the problem. Both sides, there's just idiocracy on both sides.
But see, I think we like to blame politicians thinking that they're the only ones that ever act that way, but that's not true. Let's say every politician that was in office right now or thinking about running, we said, no, you're not allowed. Can't do it. And they don't. They don't run. The next group of people that stand up and say, okay, I'll go run for the city council, or I'll go run for mayor, or I'll go be governor of Utah. The same stuff is going to happen because, again, the only thing that has changed since the beginning of time is closed technology. The hatred is still going to be there. The need to win and do anything and say anything to make sure that happens, it's embedded in us. And that's sad to say. We're scum. And right now, I wish a meteor would just strike us all down and would die a horrible death while singing peaceful songs.
Are you saying that we're genetic blends with uncertain ends?
Oh, my.
Sorry, wrong song. My bad.
Like, what song?
My bad.
So good.
We're not there
So
yet.
What song is that from, by the
yet.
way? That was good.
Yes, on a fortune hunt, that's far to flee. Yes, that was Free Will, Jay.
I knew that. I was just making sure you guys knew that. I'm not stupid.
Right. Now, and the other thing that I love about Witch Hunt, and now I'm going more about the music of it, is the sound of Geddy Lee's bass. To me, it's just, I mean, it is just, that is what a bass guitar is supposed to sound like.
Can we just talk about how great it was? Did any of you did you guys see the performance from Alex and Geddy on the Taylor Hawkins tribute?
Which I should probably be kicked off of this podcast. I haven't watched all of it. I think I've watched all of 2112 and then them going into Working Man. And I've watched most of YYZ with Omar Hakim on the drums.
Okay. All right.
So I think we need to talk about that on a.
Was it me or is it's really obvious to me, especially in that it's real obvious to me how bad Neil is missed, because nobody can
look. We're talking about freaking Omar Hakim, a world-renowned drummer who is just absolutely phenomenal. But and so therefore, again, it depends on what Geddy and Alex said. Hey, Omar, man,
just do your thing, man.
They're going to be way super nice because they're Canadian, But hey, we want you to follow Neil's basic groove, but we're not asking for every single, fill to be exactly like that. And same thing with Dave, on his drumming for the 2112 Overture. But
I would have been freaking out.
Look, it's one of those things. It's just one of those things that I don't know why I'm bringing up Phil Collins, but I just
what? Okay, now you really are kicking.
I don't care.
Where's the eject button?
Look,
I don't care anymore.
Zoom lady, eject him. Zoom lady.
You go see Phil Collins live, and he plays.
No, I don't.
At the Air tonight, which he's going to.
I can feel it.
He doesn't have Chester Thompson with him. He's got somebody else.
Bilbo Baggins.
And it comes up, and you're expecting but this guy comes up and he goes, and you're going to go, no,
that's not how it goes.
That's not right. Okay.
Right.
For 1,000 generations, air drummers have been air drumming to same thing.
Even Mike Tyson
said 1,000 generations of drummers.
Even Mike Tyson knows how that drum fill goes.
Right. So you don't. It's just I don't know. It's just weird. And the other weird thing about that whole thing was, I think it's like Taylor's spirit indwelled Dave on his facial expressions?
Oh, please wait a minute. I'm going to send you guys a picture. I snapped a picture from the television while I was watching it, and it was blurry, but I swear it looked like it looked like Taylor Hawkins.
Right. I mean, he was just so
present.
So present, and which is another odd thing to see.
Did you say witches?
With Geddy and Alex, Neil was never going to be that big freaking cheesy grin that Dave was putting out, and just looking out at him, I mean, because he did. He looked like, my goodness.
Of course he is. I'm playing with Geddy and Alex.
I'm playing with Geddy Lee.
I mean, it would have been like you. It would have been like you playing with Geddy and Alex.
Except Tim would have got all the fills.
Yeah, you would have gotten all the fills.
But no, because it would not have happened. I would have passed out.
Yeah.
On my way up to take the drum stool, I would have tripped and passed out. And
the reason I brought that up is because you mentioned earlier about Geddy Lee and the bass, and then that's the bass. That's how. And I was hearing that again, and it's been so long since I've heard Geddy Lee play bass, and that's bass right there, man. That's now how
my question is going to be, and somehow we have strayed a little off the topic, but we are talking about Rush, and it's great. Is I'm just really curious how much individual time, not together as a group, did Geddy and Alex on their own go back and say, "Oh, they want us to play YYZ. I better go over this again." Or was it just show up to the rehearsal hall and you just start playing it? Now, you probably played a few times because you're playing with a different drummer, sure.
Yeah.
So you can get it tight, but I'm just curious, did Geddy and Alex have to spend any time on their own just to refresh their memories?
They probably got a handful of songs that they know everybody's going to want to play and that they have ready.
Right. But but you haven't played those songs
in
a while.
Yeah.
Right. And I get the feeling, even in the no more of Rush, that songs like YYZ and 2112 weren't songs that on their own at home, just fiddling around with the bass or the guitar, that they were going to just start playing,
Right.
I don't know. It's just what I'm guessing at. I'm just curious. The geniuses that they are, did they have to spend some time on just refreshing their fingers on how to move?
I bet they did.
Look,
not a lot.
It's not like we're talking about the Rolling Stones getting up and playing Satisfaction and they haven't played it in 5 years. For crying out loud, a bunch of 3-year-olds can get up and do that.
There goes all the Rolling Stone fans. They're ending the show right now. Hey, come back.
I love the Rolling Stones.
They're already gone.
Sorry.
That's okay.
The most amazing thing they ever did was stay alive.
Well, I mean, I've said it for years. I believe that Keith Richards has been dead for years. He's not aware of it yet.
He's not aware.
He doesn't know.
Yes.
Well, I think we did pretty good with Witch Hunt. Got some good stuff out of you two for a change.
Quick to anger, quick to judge, quick to anger, slow to understand. That's pretty much the story of my life.
Well, and at some point, we're gonna come through and just handlebar
mustache.
What we'll do the whole Moving Pictures album at some point.
Yes, we will.
Which are we gonna save it for last?
We'll just do a replay of this.
We'll do Witch Hunt again because I had a lot of stuff in my notes that we didn't get to, so we'll do Witch Hunt again.
All right.
And
this has been fun.
Yeah,
Shane,
it has.
Yes.
Well, dear Rush,
we're the holy trinity. We are the holy trinity of every Rush song because
it's the three of us.
It's just the three of us. So we're not the holy trinity of
that's true. We are like we're like the hatchet, axe, and saw of the forest. Maybe not. Maybe not.
Oh.
All right, Rush fan. Well, hope you enjoyed this. If you have any thoughts on which hunt, this hunt, then let us know in the comments or on the social medias or wherever you can find us. Subscribe to the show. Tell your friends about how awesome we are. Or, make up something. I don't know. Just help us out here. We need the help. And we'll see you again on
Every Rush Song.
Thank you very kindly.